off. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you might be joining us from. And thank you so much for joining us for our webinar, Milestones, Momentum, and What's Next for Cin7 Core. We are thrilled that you've joined us to celebrate what we accomplished together in 2024, and we're excited to give you a peek behind the curtain for 2025. A few housekeeping things before we get started today. We will have time for Q&A at the end, so please use that Q&A tab at the bottom of your Zoom to submit any questions for Josh or Joy, and we'll get to those at the end of the presentation. Feel free to also use the chat if there's anything that's interesting to you, you just want to celebrate, give someone a shout out, and we can monitor that as well during the call. And then, as always, we will be sending out a recording of this webinar to anyone that registered following the recorded Zoom, and you can share it with a colleague, watch it again, or pass it along to someone that might be a good fit for Cin7. All right, Josh, let's get started. So today we're going to cover a couple things. We'll start with our business overview, giving you some key highlights from 2024 and sharing some exciting milestones that maybe you've heard about or maybe might be new to you. We'll follow it up with our product vision and our release highlights, big things that happened last year, and then we will give you that peek behind the curtain into what some things you can look forward to this year are. So I'm thrilled to be joined today with Ajoy Krishnamurthy, our CEO, and Josh Fisher, our VP of Product Management. Both are so excited to talk to you about all the good things that happened last year and what we're looking forward to this year. So I will go ahead and pass it to Ajoy to get us started.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Caitlin. Appreciate that setup there. And good morning, good afternoon, good day, everyone. Hope you all having an amazing start to 2025. I'll kick us off here with a quick recap of some of the amazing moments we've had here at Cin7 in 2024. And I need to start with our customers. We had a great engagement with our ecosystem of merchants. Awesome to see another 1,500 new brands that have come on board with Cin7 as their platform, which is fantastic to see. And these include brands that have been with us for a while, whether it's Coconut Cult or Fun in Motion's Toys or Two Leaves and a Bud, that are seeing good traction in the market, continuing to drive and grow their business. Or it's large brands that you're all familiar, almost household names like Yeti, Godiva, Lavazza, Nando's, and continuing to invest and grow their business by leveraging what Cin7's to offer along with the partners. And the third group is the newer brands that are coming in. We're seeing brands like Realcy, Mr. Beast. Actually, I shouldn't say new brand, probably one of those most popular brands out there, if you will, from a YouTuber perspective. Awesome to see these brands come on board. Not only that, but we're also seeing these brands having tremendous success in terms of their performance in the market. Just in the Black Friday, Cyber Monday season, we saw our merchants see a 27% year-over-year growth, which is substantially higher than what we have seen in the market across the board, if you think about retailer commerce. And one of the things that's super common amongst all of these brands is the fact that they're all omni-channel. If there was ever any doubt about omni-channel, the revival of omni-channel, you can put that doubt away. Every single conversation leads to the success that they're having, whether it's D2C, B2B, presence in big box retailers. That's something that's driving a lot of success for our brands. And that's why the integrated offering we have with EDI, 3PL, and the fundamental inventory capability are super important for our brands. And if we are in 2025, of course, I have to talk about AI. And there's a lot of noise about AI. But we think we took a very a measured approach with this in 2024. We called it AI with purpose, which in other words, it's to say it's not AI first. It's basically using AI as an enabler to address some really mission critical business challenges and offer new workflows and capabilities for our customers within the Cin7 products. So to do that, we acquired a company called Inventoro. They built a very proprietary forecasting model, really strong model that a lot of our customers started using. So we acquired them. They joined the Cin7 family. Since then, we haven't stopped. We have continued to work on it. We launched what we call Foresight AI, a module that's now embedded into Cin7 core product experience. Every one of our customers that logs into Cin7 now can see, what their inventory health looks like. I call it the inventory vitals, whether it's overstock or understock, the potential revenue lost from inaccurate inventory. Excited to see our customers taking advantage of it. Airco, as a customer, one of our early adopters, started using it. Within the first quarter or so, they started seeing 10% in their sales. Who wouldn't want that? So if you're one of those customers or one of our future customers looking into this, please do take a look at what Foresight AI can do from a capability standpoint. And we don't do all of this alone. We have a strong partner community. So back in August of last year, we had a chance to celebrate a lot of the success we are having with our partner ecosystem. The partner community is important. We have partners that actually act as trusted advisor to our customers, but we also have partners that are technology partners that have built many solutions, leveraging our APIs to offer those capabilities to our customers. And then the native integrations we offer across the many different commerce platforms, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, you name it. And then the very different marketplaces from Amazon to Walmart to eBay to Etsy, and the 700 other more connections that we support. All of that, what makes the Cin7 ecosystem strong. And we are super, super happy and thrilled to be working with this partner community. Next, why do we do all of this? We do all of this because our customers can leverage not only Cin7, but also the partner solutions that I talk about, and drive success to their business. And like I said, many of the brands are seeing amazing growth, and we are thrilled to be playing a small role in driving that growth. One of the key things that we also emphasized and focused our energy on in 2024 is the customer experience that we provide, particularly the service aspect of it, the support aspect of it, the things that we've been working on with our customers over the last several years. To be completely honest and candid, we weren't super happy with the quality of those. And we took a measured approach. We invested across people, tools, and processes over the last 8 months or so, and super happy with the progress we have made. Not to say mission accomplished. This is one area where we are super committed, continuing to invest in the ongoing basis, but happy to see where we have come in terms of our support and service engagement. And hopefully you see that. And if you don't, reach out to me. This is something that every single employee in Cin7 takes super seriously, and we want to get this thing right. And not only that we want to get it right, this is our commitment to you as our customers. Super happy with the progress. We are beating our own internal milestones. We set up a Get to Gold, and amazing to see the progress we have made across the response time, and more importantly, the quality of the response. One of the area that's also super important for a lot of you and for our partners as well is around compliance. So I'm thrilled that we are making a ton of progress in this area. And one particular one that I'm excited to share with you is our SOC 2 certification. We got our Type 1 in September or October of last year. We're finishing up our audit for Type 2. The way it works is Type 1 is you document all the process. Type 2 is you prove to the auditor that we're actually following all the process that we said we are following. We're almost there. We will be getting our SOC 2 Type 2 certification later this month. Can't wait to publicly share that as well. But super important milestone for a lot of our customers, and we are thrilled to be able to get it done. Lastly, all the work that we have done across our product, which you will hear more from Josh very shortly, we've gotten great recognitions from Newsweek, from Forbes. We've got SaaS Award finalists. And also the one that I actually take it very personally is the recognition we get for our team. Super happy to see, best place to work, the built-in recognition, and so on. It speaks to the investment we're putting in our team as well as, into our product. Both of those means a lot for our customers at the end of the day. Lastly, we don't do this all in a vacuum. We are super engaged with our customers by many different forums and so on. And one of that we just relaunched in 2024 is our online communities. And this is a forum where you have different sections or focus groups, if you will, where our customers, partners can go in and suggest ideas, review other questions. We have team members that are actively engaging in it. We have peer-to-peer communication happening within our brands as well. Our aspiration is to create that community of our micro verticals. We have customers in food and beverage, fashion and apparel, beauty and cosmetics, manufacturing, industrials. We're trying to create those cohorts as well, where our brands can help each other, merchants talking to merchants. We have suppliers and customers as or buyers as customers of Cin7. How do we enable a lot of that conversation? So these communities are super valuable for that purpose, and particularly for our product. We listen to this, the feedback that's coming in through these communities, and bringing those feedback into shaping the future of our product roadmap. There's a QR code on the slide. You can scan, go join, participate in the community, share feedback. And with that, the person that's actually most keenly watching all of these community posts and interested in product feedback is Josh. I'll go ahead and turn it over to Josh.
Great. Thank you, Joy. Hi, everyone. I'm sincerely excited today to talk to you about the things that are coming in 2025. And before we get started, though, let's just do a quick recap of some of the big features that we announced in 2024. So as Joy mentioned earlier, we acquired Inventoro in May of last year, and May through October, we worked to get some of that Inventoro functionality embedded into Cin7. That was a rapid process to get functionality moved out of one application and into Cin7. We're going to see that continue throughout 2025. But that was a major achievement. And that was really, as Joy pointed out, it was just the beginning, though. Like, everybody hears about AI. You can't pick up a newspaper today without seeing headlines around AI, and there's a ton of hype. But internally, we've been thinking about AI in a very pragmatic way. We've spent a lot of time with partners and customers like yourself, trying to understand what AI features we can build into Cin7 that can help you operate more efficiently. Really, we're not interested in changing your workflows or changing your processes. What we want to do is use AI to help you be more effective, to help your employees operate in a more efficient manner. And we're learning a lot from talking to customers. So if you have ideas around what we're doing, or you want to better understand how we're using AI as the foundation of Cin7 moving forward, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We want your input. We're really interested in your ideas. In addition to adding those foresight features into Cin7, we also had two other significant releases last year. One was we added the ability for merchants to use AI to produce product descriptions, generative AI inside the system. And really, all software systems are introducing generative AI into their applications, and it seems pretty, it seems pretty obvious, right? That we have all these tools like ChatGPT that can write descriptions. Let's add it to a system like Cin7. But think about it. If you're a manufacturer and you've never sold products online before, you could have tens of thousands of products, and all of those products are going to require marketing information in order for you to show up in Google search engine results. I would imagine you don't have time to write 20,000 or 30,000 product descriptions. So having a tool like this can turn that process into maybe a day-long job or a week-long job rather than months, right? So that generative AI for the customer is really important. Another thing that we added is this new feature we called IDR, which represents intelligent document recognition. So imagine this use case. Imagine you receive a sales order from one of your customers, or a purchase order, and it comes in as a letter, right? Maybe they still use fax machines. Maybe they email you a PDF and you print it out, but you have that document. Typically what a user would do is they would take that document and then they would hand key it into the system. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally would not want that job. I would not want to spend my days hand keying these orders into the system. With this IDR solution, what you can do instead is you can just use your phone, you take a picture of the document, you upload that to the IDR system, which you see here, this animated GIF on the right is showing this process. But when you upload that picture, the AI system, it analyzes the document, it figures out what information is in the document, and then it pushes it directly into a sales order or purchase order. So it becomes a document inside of Cin7 itself. It doesn't know your business and all of the different terminology and fields that are important to you in the very beginning. So you have to spend a little time training it. You actually take a few of those documents, you upload them, and you start training the system. When you see this field, this is the information that's being given to us, and so on. And over time, the AI just gets better and better at understanding your business, and it makes this process much faster and more efficient for you. So lots more to talk about with AI, but those were some pretty big additions in last year's releases. In addition to that, we also released Cin7 Capital. Now, as a business, cash flow is incredibly important in business. And in talking to our customers, we find that getting access to funds isn't always a fast and easy process, right? Number one, you have to find a lender that you can trust. And number two, it could take weeks in order to get funds. Now, if you're in a situation where let's say you're a small direct-to-consumer brand, and you just landed your first contract with a big box retailer, and that big box retailer puts in an order that is bigger than any order you've ever seen before, that can actually put you in a situation where you might not have the funds to acquire the goods you need to fulfill that order. And that's one example of what we were thinking about whenever we launched Cin7 Capital. From our perspective, we want Cin7 to be this operating system that you can use to manage your business. And by giving you this fast and easy way to get access to funds right inside of Cin7 in less than 48 hours, really, we feel like that's a really grand offering for the teams. And in addition to everything else, the functionality and the speed at which it works, we partnered with some organizations to make sure that the financing was competitive, right? So this is a really big deal. We also added on some new modules to Cin7. There's two here that I'd like to tell you about today. If you're not familiar with these, if this is the first time you're hearing about the RMA module or the MRP module, I really suggest that you check them out. So the RMA module, this is essentially, it's a reverse logistics portal for your customers. It's much more than just a returns management system. It actually includes a portal that your customers can go to, and they can see all of their orders, and they can initiate a return. And what's really great is inside of Cin7 itself, you can configure your returns process. Like every business knows that their customers expect the returns process to be seamless, easy, and frictionless, right? And if you can give them that experience, they're going to come back and buy from you again. But if you can't do that, it's going to be really challenging. But every single merchant has a different process, right? If you're selling makeup, for instance, at least in the US, you're not allowed to take that makeup and put it back on the shelves. So you have a specific process for accepting that makeup back in, disposing of it, and then giving the refund. But imagine you're selling jewelry. If you were selling, $1,000 piece of jewelry, whenever that item comes back to you, you're going to send it through an entire inspection process. And there's likely going to be somebody on your team that has to authorize that return before the funds are refunded back to the customer. Well, with this RMA system, you can configure all those different rules. So when a customer initiates a return, the system basically just carries your team through the process step by step to make it as seamless and as efficient as possible. And then MRP, I think we all know what MRP is. Basically, if you assemble goods or you produce goods, you're going to have all these different components. And, if you've likely figured out a way to use the same components across many different items. But thinking about standard inventory planning is a little bit different than thinking about your component planning or your materials planning. So we built out this MRP solution that can help you be faster and more efficient at planning your replenishments for those components. Not only will the system help you plan out your components inventory, but it also do things like produce purchase orders for you and so on. And if you're thinking, well, he was just talking about inventory planning that has AI, wouldn't it be great to add that to the materials requirements plans? You're exactly right. You're on the right track. And we are, I'll talk about that more in a minute. Amazon. So we spent a lot of time working with Amazon. Actually, we spent so much time working with Amazon last year that Amazon invited us to present at one of their annual events. It was great. We got up on stage with them and talked a little bit about the work that we're doing together. The trick with Amazon is the closer you work with the team, the deeper you learn about all of the different projects that are going on inside of Amazon and what they're seeing in the market. And having that partnership has been greatly beneficial because they've been helping us understand our merchants and understand people like you and how they can use Amazon to grow their businesses. And we've focused on some areas of Amazon that not a lot of businesses in this space are focused on. Everybody focuses on FBA and FBM, but last year we actually released features to support Amazon's B2B marketplace. It's surprising to me. I talk to people a lot that don't even know that Amazon has a B2B marketplace, but they're generating somewhere around $50 billion a year revenues flowing through the Amazon business marketplace. And now if you're using Cin7, you can push your products out to that business marketplace and you can sell the products there. And then in that B2B marketplace, they have things like, processing purchase order numbers, and there's lots of engagement that you can do in that business marketplace. There's also MCF. So imagine you're selling your products on, let's say, a Shopify site, but you want to use Amazon essentially as a 3PL. You want them to store your inventory and fulfill those items, but you want them to do it in a blank box. You don't want your customers to receive an Amazon box. Well, Amazon now offers that service. And with Cin7, you can manage that inside of our system. You can take those orders on your own website, your Shopify or WooCommerce site, but you can have Amazon actually fulfill those orders on your behalf. Oop, I skipped one. That's actually really important here. So in addition to all those big features that we released last year, I asked the team if they would pull a report on the enhancements, the number of enhancements that we released in 2024. And there's around 180 enhancements. Now, when I say enhancements, I'm not talking about features and I'm not talking about bug fixes. I'm talking about ideas that came from this community. Customers come to us and say, hey, we love this feature, but we wish it could do this, or we have this idea for an extra layer to this pre-existing feature that would make it so much better. That kind of information, from my perspective, that kind of information is gold. Like hearing those ideas from you guys and then working with you to implement them, that's exactly how we build a solution that everybody appreciates and grows with. So thank you for that commitment. If this is something that you've never participated in, you've never given us this kind of feedback, or you have ideas that you want to share with us, Joy mentioned the Cin7 community earlier. I would recommend checking out the community. There's an entire area where you can give feedback or share your ideas with us. And our product team goes through those ideas on a regular basis and incorporates them into our backlog. Okay, so that's quite a bit about some of the things that happened in 2024. Now, let's talk about the future. This is where it gets real exciting. So first, I want to share with you that in the coming weeks, we will be releasing Cin7 Pay. Cin7 Pay is going to be a fully embedded payments platform inside of Cin7. It's going to allow you to not only manage your account, apply for your account, manage your customers, and allow your customers to process payments inside of Cin7, eventually inside the B2B portal, eventually inside the POS. But it's also going to add extra features like allowing your customers to save credit cards on their account. It's going to be obviously fully secure, and it's going to offer additional features like buy now, pay later. So I'm sure you're familiar with platforms like Affirm. Those kinds of solutions are really important for other business owners and consumers, right? From a business's perspective, if you have a brand new business customer, you may not be in a position where you want to extend account terms to them yet. things like buy now, pay later, that puts them in a better position to buy from you. So introducing Cin7 Pay to the market is something we're all very excited about. We actually partnered with Stripe on this solution. So everything that we're offering is powered by Stripe, but it's going to be fully embedded inside of Cin7. So you don't have to, leave Cin7 to do anything. You don't have to set up the account outside or manage the account, anything like that. You'll be working directly with us. We'll continue to maintain that relationship with Stripe. And we're already talking about what's next. What additional features can we extend to customers with this? So you can, if you're interested in this, if you're an existing customer and you're thinking, wow, this is something I could definitely use, we're looking for early adopters. We want to build relationships with the first large quantity of customers and go through the onboarding process with you and have conversations about how you're going to use the system and so on. You click that QR code, it's going to take you to a page on our community where you can fill out a form. That'll go directly to our product team, and then we'll reach out to you and share more. It'd be great if you guys are interested in this. It'd be great to have you on board. So a lot of work is going into adding AI features to Cin7 this year. In addition to moving, we moved some of those inventorial features into Cin7. That's the new Foresight AI. It's all demand planning and inventory planning, which, it's a huge deal. I mean, if you think about it, if you're a small business, eventually you reach this stage where you have to be very strategic about your inventory planning, right? It's like a make or break investment that you make in this inventory. And I've talked with hundreds, probably thousands of merchants, and all of them handle inventory planning differently. But the one thing they all have in common is they develop their own models, their own spreadsheets. Maybe they have some software that they use, but it's a very laborious process. They have lots of tools and algorithms for them to figure out exactly what inventory they should order. They pay attention to their trends and they're watching the market and so on. The thing with AI, I really like this expression. I learned this from a guy named Ethan Mullick. He's a professor and that studies AI and how businesses use it. But AI is on-demand intelligence. Really, that's what it is. If you think about what AI does for you, it's a lot like having a coworker that you can lean on to accomplish tasks and then bring the results of those tasks back to you. That's what AI is. I know there's a lot of glitz and glam around it today, but at the end of the day, from a business owner's perspective or a business leader's perspective, what AI offers you is the ability for you to outsource work that you would typically spend your time doing. You can outsource that work to an AI application to complete the tasks and bring the results back to you. And when we incorporate Foresight AI into the system, that's what we're thinking about. Demand planning is a very laborious task. How can we make this faster and easier for customers? Well, I'll tell you the answer. You build an artificial intelligence system that analyzes your data. It pays attention to your past orders. It pays attention to your seasonality. It looks at the categories of products and their performance. It looks at the categories of products that aren't performing like they used to, and it makes decisions for you about the most cost-effective and efficient way to order inventory for the future, right? Now, you can drill in deeper, right? Anybody's going to do that. The first several months that you're using the system, you're going to want to double check the numbers. You're going to want to train the system and configure it, set different weights and so on. So basically, that's not a whole lot different than you hiring an employee and you're training them on your business. You're helping them understand things like seasonality and where some categories of products are more important than other categories of products, when it's okay to have products that are overstocked, and which products you absolutely cannot run out of stock on over time. You're going to spend a little time training the system in the beginning, but once it fully understands your business, our goal for you is for Foresight AI to deliver to you a demand plan that you can simply execute on. It'll produce the purchase orders. It'll think about the most efficient way to get the right amount of inventory to your warehouses as possible. So it's not just going to buy the maximum amount of inventory that you need. Maybe it'll break up orders over a period of time, or maybe it'll combine orders in order to make it more cost effective. That is on-demand intelligence. That is a system that you can rely on to complete tasks on your behalf and give you accurate answers. Now, I'm using the example of inventory management and forecasting as an example, but we're taking that same level of thinking and we're applying it to all the different areas of Cin7. So whether it's controlling sales orders and purchase orders, the inventory planning, obviously, engaging with customers, all the manufacturing features, like I talked about MRP earlier, how can we apply that same logic to the MRP system? And what this leads to is it leads to a foundation inside of Cin7 where you have these intelligent agents that are helping you throughout all the different processes, right? You may be a rapidly growing business, but it doesn't mean that you're in a position to hire as many resources as you want. What we're trying to do is fill those gaps for you with this technology. And you're going to see more and more of these features roll out in 2025 and beyond. Okay, next I'd like to talk about manufacturing. So our manufacturing solution inside Cin7 today is it's complex. It offers a lot of features and functionality. We have very large manufacturers that are using these systems. Joy and I met with a customer a few weeks ago that was telling us about production runs of I think 400,000 items a week. And they were showing us in detail how they have everything configured inside of Cin7 in order to how they operate. And it's fascinating, really, to see how these customers work and what they've been able to do with these tools that we've built. But we don't want to stop there. We think that there's room to continue growing. We're hearing feedback from customers about how they would love to have manufacturing specific dashboards inside the system. They would love to have continuous manufacturing. So maybe you have a really big run and you want to be able to continuously run one production cycle, even though inventory is already being moved off into the warehouse and so on. There's a lot of features there that we're focused on. Again, a lot of this information is coming directly from our community, customers just like yourself. So maybe today, maybe you're not quote unquote producing goods. Maybe you're not thinking of yourself as a manufacturer and you're just assembling goods. It might be worth it for you to start looking at our advanced manufacturing solution, because what we're finding is the customers that move over to advanced manufacturing, it actually helps them from an accounting perspective. It helps them drill into the specifics of their component costs and the cost of goods that are created. And it helps them truly understand their per unit profitability. So if that's of interest to you, please reach out to us. We'll be happy to drill in deeper on that. I also want to tell you about the integration enhancements that we're making. So if I put myself in your shoes, if I'm a merchant and I'm using these digital sales channels in order to sell to my customers, those external platforms, whether they're an e-commerce platform or a marketplace, an email marketing platform, a customer support platform, an accounting platform, those apps that are on the periphery of Cin7 are insanely important. If I'm in your shoes, they are incredibly important. And the reason being, a lot of those tools are what you're using to engage with your customers. They're the tools that you're using to make sure that your customers are having an absolutely optimal experience. And from our perspective, it is clear that you don't want to think about data flowing back and forth between our system and those external systems. You want them to talk to each other seamlessly. You want to be able to do whatever it is that your creative team members come up with in those customer experience platforms. You want them to be able to come up with ideas to grow your business and you want those ideas to be easily integrated and reflected inside of Cin7. And in order for us to accomplish that, we're putting a lot of focus into our integrations, enhancing existing integrations or pushing those integrations further. For instance, the Shopify connector that Cin7's had for years, we've had it for quite a bit of time. And if you haven't picked up on this, Shopify moves really fast. They're constantly releasing new features. It's hard to keep up with them. In the last 6 months or so, we've put a lot of time into focusing on what do we need to change about our architecture and what do we need to improve about our integrations so that one, everything becomes more seamless, but two, we can position ourselves to keep up with Shopify and Amazon and Walmart and all of these different platforms. In addition to that, we've been having great conversations with Intuit. And Intuit recently announced their new Intuit Enterprise Solutions platform, which is it's a accounting platform essentially for the mid-market, right? So as businesses get a little bit bigger, new complexities in the accounting get introduced to the business. Intuit is making an effort to solve some of those accounting challenges with this new IES solution. And from our perspective, they are serving our market, right? That's the ideal customer that uses Cin7. So we've been partnering directly with Intuit. So our product team has been meeting on a regular basis with Intuit's product team, and we've been talking to customers about the kinds of challenges that they face and the kinds of things that they need between both of our systems. And together we're planning out an integration for IES and features that will satisfy the needs of these customers. If you notice, I keep bringing up customers. Once again, if this is something that sounds interesting to you, we are looking for more customers to talk to about this particular use case. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. Amazon, we heard this a lot. I'll go ahead and bring it up. A lot of our customers, they ship their inventory off to Amazon's warehouses. They lose track of it. And we've heard from customers they would love to be able to log into Cin7 and get an idea of where that inventory has gone. Is Amazon now selling the inventory? Is Amazon shipping that inventory to a different warehouse? Is it available for purchase or is it on hold? So we're working to build out an integration that supports those features. And we're in the process of building a strong partnership with Walmart as well. And Walmart is making some pretty hefty strides. And I have to say, I'm impressed with, I'm really impressed with that team and the work that they're doing. And we want Walmart to become another marketplace that you can easily sell on in the future. So look out for integration enhancements there to make that faster and more possible for you. Okay. Now, I want to say that I'm saving the best for last. Everything here is super exciting, but the one thing that I am thrilled to share with you is that we have user interface design improvements that are coming in 2025. Now, I'm not sure if everybody knows this, but Cin7 has an entire team of user interface designers, and incredibly talented, but they're also very, very analytical. And they analyze how customers interact with our application today. They pay attention to where the stumbling blocks are. They have a lot of different pieces of software to see where users get stuck and where they have challenges and where are they inside the application when they click on the help menu and things like that. And they've taken all of that information and they've used it to redesign the interface to, one, be more modern. I'll talk about that more in a second. But also, the goal is we want it to be feature rich and intuitive. We really want you, our customers, to be able to log into the system and immediately feel comfortable. I know you don't want to be in a position where you hire new staff and that staff has to spend weeks or possibly months becoming accustomed to this application that they have to use on a daily basis. That is not a good use of your time. And we think we can help with that problem by making Cin7 as intuitive as possible with this new interface. what's interesting is we're using, this is going to sound a little techie, but you'll understand why I'm sharing this with you in a second. We're using a user interface framework called Polaris. And the reason that that's important is because Polaris is the same framework that Shopify uses for their user interface. That means that Polaris is going to continue to get investment and support from Shopify. But I don't know if you've heard this or not, but Shopify is known for how slick and intuitive their application is. It's a very easy platform to use. Digital natives are completely comfortable inside the application, and it offers all of these features for filtering information, for using color to make different highlighted information stand out. As you can see in these screenshots here, we have sidebar menus that are popping out whenever you're clicked on a specific product. You can see categories of information in the sidebar. Because we're using sidebars, everything's running much faster. I can't wait. I really can't wait for this to come out and become available to the customers. We're going to do this one piece at a time. It's not going to be all at once. And you'll have the ability, if we start releasing these features and you're not ready for change, you'll be in a position to control when the new user interface becomes available to your team. But I can't wait for this to become available for the customers, because I think it's going to help you guys run much more efficiently, and it's going to help you add new team members that get comfortable with the system even faster. Okay, I know I've already said it, probably 20 times here, but please stay connected with us. One thing that I'm absolutely committed to is hearing the feedback from our customers and applying that feedback to everything that we build. So please use the community, reach out to us. Like Ajoy said earlier, you feel free to email us. We'll gladly have a conversation. If there's ideas that you have or challenges you're facing, don't hesitate to ping us. We want to build that relationship with you, learn about your business, and figure out how we can help you grow. In addition, I'll just wrap up by saying that Cin7 Pay, like I mentioned before, if that sounds of interest to you, please find that on the community. You can fill out the form, and we can introduce you to the application before it comes out. And then IDR, I talked about the image document recognition. We are running free trials for that now. So if that's something you're interested in testing out, give it a shot. It's you can find it inside of Cin7. Talked about the community, and then the academy, the Cin7 Academy. It's too much to talk about right now, but the product team is partnering with the education team to focus on how to deliver even more educational material inside the academy. Some of that is Cin7 specific, right? Making sure that things like manufacturing are easier to use, and we have plenty of educational resources. But we actually want to go a bit further, and we want to talk about the industry and the product team. I think the product team has an exceptional amount of knowledge, and we can share a lot of that knowledge with you, the things that all of us have learned over the years in this industry. And we honestly, we just want to help, right? We can help you understand how bigger businesses operate, enterprise businesses operate, and the tricks that you can use. And then lastly, we do have a new website that's coming out in weeks. Excited for everybody to see that. And I really appreciate your time. Thanks.
Gosh, Ajoy, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your engagement. We will wrap up with a quick Q&A. We did have a few questions that came in. And while I have you both still here, we have a great question of what is the most significant feature enhancement from this year that you'd recommend we adopt first as a small business?
The 2024 enhancement? Yeah. From my perspective, I mean, it depends on your business, and there's a big difference between a B2B manufacturer and a direct-to-consumer CPG brand. But I think the one Foresight AI has had the greatest impact on the widest range of customers. I think that's definitely something that I would investigate. Yeah, that would be my recommendation.
Yeah, that's a good recommendation, Josh. But my challenge is, why stop with one? more the merrier. But I think the honest thing is it depends on the business. The demand forecasting, that's something that's applicable to everybody. We have seen organizations save, a lot of money because the overstock, as an example, I mean, you all know this, it's a double whammy, right? Not just that you have overstock that's not selling, but it's also locking capital that you could be using for SKU that's actually fast moving. So you're losing business. There's an opportunity cost associated with it. But it depends. Other features, I mean, we invest a lot of time in validating our features before we build it into the product. We're getting better at it. I know we can do a lot more, with our customer interaction, hence the emphasis around the community. But things like capital, like Cin7 Capital, we didn't launch it because we thought, hey, there's a cool thing we can do, right? Of course, we get excited about technology, definitely guilty as charged, but we tend to stay closer to what the customer needs are. So capital is one thing where we have seen initial traction with our customers. We're not doing it purely from a revenue generation standpoint. We felt an opportunity and a need from our customers, especially when I talked about the shift to retail and so on. When they get in a big order, come in from a big box store, Sprouts or Central Market or Erewhon or Target, so Sephora's, you name it. And a lot of times the merchants, I mean, you probably know this extremely well. Sorry if I'm causing a little bit of stress by making this comment. You're scrambling to find resources to go fulfill that order. You have to make some trade-offs, right? And the idea with the capital is you have access to resources with a click of a button. You can get access to resources, particularly getting the capital in your bank account in a matter of hours after the initial approval. So you can go and fulfill that new PO that just came in from the big box while continuing to preserve your growth and the commitment you have with the other channel. And that's where that came about. And that's why we're excited about launching something like that. So back to the question on what's single biggest, I think it depends on your business and the need and so on. But Foresight AI is something that I think it's applicable to everybody. And there are other features as well. Like, Josh showed that ugly chart with 180 features with the big, big wheel. There's plenty for everyone.
Yeah. Yeah, the
Good
one
point.
thing I didn't mention about capital is it doesn't even do a hard credit check. So you technically you could go test it right now. You would get a response within 48 hours. You could choose whether to take the credit or not. But that if the feature is just sitting there waiting for people to use it.
Nice.
Great point. Joy, a question for you. You mentioned that we have made some significant strides with our customer support this year. What other initiatives do we have planned around customer support for 2025?
Great. Great. Again, this is one of those areas where we could have done better in the past. I'm super happy to see the progress we made in 2024. But this is not the one where we're going to take the feet off the pedal. We got to continue to invest and stay focused. In fact, one of the programs we're going to launch very soon, I'm stealing the marketing team's thunder, but it's coming up in a couple of weeks, is premium support. We are going to offer, again, this came from a lot of the conversations I've had with customers, and they want the ability to schedule a time with our resources to go through issues or whatever. So we're going to introduce this with a few advanced capabilities, dedicated team, having a higher SLA from a response perspective, ability to talk to us instead of just doing through chat and email, and also offering something that's unique. I don't think other SaaS product application companies do this. We want to introduce this concept called health check. It's kind of like all of us go through and do our annual checkup to make sure we're still doing okay. Similarly, for our products, especially particularly given the business that you're all in, there are many integrations that are at play. And a lot of times our customers have seen tremendous growth. This actually came up out of a conversation I had with a customer in Australia that came on board with Cin7 at like $2-3 million in revenue, grew exponentially. They I think closed the year in 2024 at about $80 million in matter of like 3-4 years. And they basically started with their own implementation and added many different integrations from POS to commerce marketplaces. And when I met with them, there were a lot of challenges there, right? I mean, the integrations weren't set up right. It was obviously fault on different sides. Leaving all that details aside, we thought if we can do an health check, where we have a conversation with the customer, understand the integrations, understand the business growth, or we can either add value in terms of capabilities or provide support in terms of making sure those integrations are finished and set up right. So we're going to introduce that concept along with this premium support. So customers that sign up for that program would get that benefit as well. I'm super thrilled about this because I think it gives another opportunity where we can go in and work with those customers that need that type of support to get that type of support from Cin7.
Fantastic. All right, Josh, I'm guessing this is a question for you, but we have someone that wrote in saying that the FDA has new traceability requirements starting in January of 2026. Many distributors and retailers are already asking to receive key data element, or KDE, for each sales order that is shipped. Is Cin7 working to build a report with these traceability pieces of information that the FDA requires?
Yeah, this is going to impact a lot of our customers. So yes, internally it's very early stages, but internally we're having conversations about what we need to build into the system to help our customers remain compliant whenever this comes up. Yeah, I think we have about, you said January, I remember thinking it's about a year out. So I think you said January 2026.
Yes, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Good to know that
Actually,
that's
if
on our
you're a
radar.
customer and you're going to face these challenges, we'd love to hear from you and hear about it from your perspective.
Perfect. And Josh, if someone would like to chat with you about that, is the best way to reach you that email address that's right underneath your face on Zoom?
Yeah. So
Perfect.
that's the best email, or you can just ping me on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Either way.
Fabulous. Well, I think that's all of the questions we have for today. We had a couple repeats and just a lot of excitement from our customers. Josh, Joy, thank you both so much for your time, and thank you to all of our customers and Cin7 friends that joined us today.
Great.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great
Have a good
year.
one.